That's I made the dip and stuff for.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get which one.
Good evening, good folks, and welcome to the City of Muskegon City Commission General Session for this Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Before we get started with our meeting, I want to remind folks that we do have a couple different public comment periods this evening. One is on agenda items, and that's towards the beginning of the meeting. Before we get started with deliberation and voting on our agenda items, there's an opportunity for folks to give their input. We also have a public comment period at the end of the meeting. That's general public comment, in which folks can share whatever they please with the City Commission. We do invite folks to speak in person as well as by phone. So if you're not here for whatever reason, you do have an opportunity to call in and share your perspective with the City Commission. Note, whether you're calling in or speaking in person, everyone has 3 minutes. If you are giving remarks in person, I encourage you to complete a public comment form at the back of the room. Please provide your name, home address, and if it's an agenda item, which agenda items you're speaking on. No, I will not be sharing your home address. I will not be announcing it, nor asking you to announce it when you come up to speak. That is for our records. I will be acknowledging which neighborhood you're coming from if you're a City of Muskegon resident. If you're not a city resident, which other township, village, or city you may be joining us from. If you have that form completed, please hand that down to the lovely folks in our clerk's office at the end of the dais. Now we will be starting with prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you wish to join us in either of those activities, I ask that you stand if you're capable of doing so. And we're being led in prayer by Pastor E.J. Wood of All Shores Wesleyan Church. Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, Mayor Johnson. If you'd like to join me, I invite you to pray with me now. Gracious and loving God, we gather this evening in your presence, asking for your guidance and blessing over this city commission and over all who live in and serve this city that we and you love. As a pastor in this community, I ask for your blessing over these leaders before you and before us. I pray that you would bless them, steady their minds, guard their hearts, anchor their decisions in what is good and just and life-giving. Where there's pressure, give them peace. Where there's complexity, give them clarity. Where there are competing voices, give them discernment. Lord, may this city be filled with people who reflect lives that love our neighbor, care for the least among us, and seek peace. Help all of us as members of this community to lead with integrity, to listen with compassion, and to act with boldness for the good of all who call Muskegon home. Bless our city, God, its neighborhoods, its schools, businesses, families, and future. Let your kingdom come in our streets as it is in heaven. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Here.
Vice Mayor Keener,
Here.
Commissioner German,
Here.
Commissioner Jackson,
Here.
Commissioner Cochin,
Here.
Commissioner St. Clair.
Here.
Thank you. We don't have any honors, awards, and presentations this evening. No public hearings scheduled. Do we have any federal, state, or county or tribal partners in the audience that might wish to give updates to the commission? Seeing none, we're going to move on from that and go to public comment on agenda items. I do have a public comment forms, but those are general public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to give comment on an agenda item or items? Seeing no takers in the audience, we're going to go to the phones. The phone number is 231-724-6721. This is an opportunity for you to phone in and give your input on an agenda item or items. When you call in, please turn down any audio in the background, state your name, if you're a City of Muskegon resident, which neighborhood you're calling from, and otherwise which city, township, or village you may be calling from, and then identify the agenda items. You'll have up to 3 minutes to provide your remarks. And note, this is a time for you to give your input directly to the commission, not for Q&A or dialogue. We can arrange that for a separate time. And again, that phone number is 231-724-6721. All right, does not look like we have any takers for phone and comments on agenda items. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Commissioners, you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. Are there any items that you wish to have removed for separate deliberation and vote? Commissioner Cochin.
Yes.
Oh,
Item,
and just a note that item E has been removed by staff, and they'll be coming back to us next month.
items B as in boy, D as in dog, and I as in igloo.
Okay, that was item B, D, and I. All right. Commissioners, are there any other items? Seeing none, Commissioners, I would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented, minus items B, D, and I, and also recognizing that item E has been deferred to next month.
So move. Support.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner German, supported by Vice Mayor Keener. There's no discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keener,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, item B, purchasing Sovra software for bids. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, I motion to approve the 3-year contract with Sovra for $9,112.50 for 1 year, $9,568.13 for year 2, and $10,046.53 for year 3. Authorize the staff to make necessary budget amendments and authorize the clerk to sign the agreement.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Cochin, supported by Commissioner Kilgo. And who's reporting out on this item?
Maybe me.
Oh, all right, our clerk.
Yes.
Kindly introduce yourself and report on this item, please.
I am Ann Mish, I'm the city clerk, and so we've been looking at software for about, I don't know, at least 6 months to accept our bid processing. Currently, right now, everyone has to mail their bids to us or they have to drop them off to us, but there's no way to be able to do them online that is secure. And which is a big detriment to companies, you know, that are trying to get it there to us or overnighting them, or sometimes they miss the deadline. We've had that happen several times. And or the other portion is that they're missing items that they did not put in the bid, which it's my understanding this is going to stop that, where we're going to be able to state exactly what is required of the bid, and they have to, you know, if we say we need 3 photos, it's going to make you put in 3 photos. And, you know, just being able to, you know, had the timing, it won't be able to be open until the time that we actually like program in there. And also there's going to be so many more opportunities for bidders because there's thousands of people that are members of this program. So that hopefully is going to expand our offerings, and we're going to get more bids in the future.
Thank you, Clerk Mish. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to pull this because I know that we had brought up concerns in the past about bid packets not being complete. And you're feeling like this will resolve that issue?
I believe so. After this is done, then we get training on it. But it is, I believe that we can lock it down, and it's going to stop, or it's going to make sure that the packet is complete.
Mm-hmm. And if we're getting more bids, that means there's more competition, and we might be able to get better quotes and
That is
save
correct.
money.
Yes.
Okay,
That
excellent.
is our
Thank you.
hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. Commissioner Kilgo.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, year 1, year 2, and year 3, the prices keep rising exponentially. Is
Yep.
this going to, in year 4 and beyond, if we like this service and we continue to use it, do we see their fees just kind of going up as inflation goes up?
Yes.
So it'll be around
That
that year
was-
3 price or higher,
Yes.
potentially for year 4?
Yeah, it's going to keep going up.
Okay, but I guess a 3-year term would allow us to see how we like it, how it works for the city, and
Exactly.
gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo. Commissioners, anything else to ask Rob at this time? Nope. All right, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Keener,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item D, Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan for a Muskegon regatta. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, I move to approve the Catamaran Racing Association for Michigan's application for a Muskegon Regatta event and camping on July 31st through August 2nd, 2026.
Support.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cochin, supported by Commissioner Jackson. Good evening. Kindly introduce yourself and please report out on this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Dan Vanderhyde, Director of Public Works for the city. The Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan, this is the second year that they're requesting to come to Marquette Beach. They host a regatta each year, and they're asking to host it in the Margaret Drake Elliott part of what most folks know as Marquette Park. Specifically, there's a map in the packet that shows where their impacts will be. They park the boats on the beach as shown there, and then they are requesting the ability to camp within the parking lot that is highlighted there. It's just a 2-day, 1-night situation, as I understand it, and I believe that they are here
On Fridays.
sorry, 3-day, 2-night operation, and as you can tell, the event is here if anyone has questions.
Thank you, Director Vanderhyde. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, thank you. I pulled this item because I know that it came before us last year and we decided to not opt to do that, but I wanted to bring it up this year because we are not going to be doing Burning Foot camping this year on the beach. And so when the neighborhood association that is directly impacted by this had their most recent general meeting, I spoke there and talked to several members, brought it up. I didn't have anybody bring up any concerns in regards to the camping this year. Now, there's no other events going on around this that would be impacted, correct?
Correct. They, last year, as I understand it, a part of the reason the event was denied was that it fell on the same weekend as Rebel Road. This year it does not.
Okay. And in regards to maybe this might be a question for the event manager, but I'm curious to hear about the plans for cleanup afterwards.
Sure, I can let them speak to that. I will say that our understanding in speaking with this organization and other partners they've worked with is that they are a relatively clean group.
Okay, all right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Before we call up the applicant, Commissioner Jackson, do you have anything to ask of staff?
No,
This
not
time?
anything to ask.
No? Commissioners, do you have anything to ask of staff of Director Vanderhyde at this time? All right, thank you. Sir, if you kindly come up, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is James Stirk with the Catamaran Racing Association of Michigan, resident of Grand Haven.
Welcome, Mr. Stirk. I think you had a question, Commissioner Cochin?
I did, yes. I know that you guys have not done this here in a while. Do you have plans for cleanup in regards to after your event?
Policy-wise, we have nothing specific, but we always know that wherever we go, and I don't know if it was clear, this is one of 8 events around the state of Michigan that we have. We always pride ourselves in trying to leave the area better than what we found it.
I really appreciate that. I know that that was another concern as well as noise. And so I hope that when you talk to the campers, if this passes, please pass that on.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. Commissioner St. Clair.
Thank you. Can you tell us roughly how many campers you think that will be staying?
Back when we had this event and we used the parking lot that's across the street from the deck, so this would have been prior to 2020, I want to say that there was 20 to 30 people who were on site. I know some will opt for finding local accommodations or other accommodations, but with this group, we're always trying to reach an audience of a wide variety of incomes and having the option to stay on site opens this up for the people who have a cheap old Hobie they found in their backyard or something like that.
You and I had the opportunity to have a little bit of a conversation before the commission started, and you talked about your search to find a replacement for Pierre Marquette that has been unsuccessful. Can you talk a little bit about why it's important that you're here?
So we've looked at a lot of different places throughout West Michigan. We do have a number of members that are in West Michigan, ranging from the Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, even Michigan City areas. And right now, our closest event to them is Manistee. Other events that we have are Caseville, up in the UP, Grand Traverse Bay, Lake Erie, not on this year's schedule, but Higgins Lake. We've gone there plenty of times. And so we try to offer a diverse range of areas, and trying to find a place where we can have boats kept on the beach, and be able to have trailer parking and a place that everybody can gather afterwards. We're a very, we don't want to go our separate ways after the event. We want to stay together, play euchre, but not
Quietly.
too loud. Yes. And like, we're planning on going to the deck for dinner on Saturday night. It's not just about being on the water, it's also about being together off the water. Muskegon is uniquely good in the sense that there is a beach launch on the inside of the breakwater, so that if we do have an onshore breeze, since we're launching our boats right off the beach into the water, we have that protected launch where we can sail out of the breakwater and race outside, even if it's a little wavy out there. South of Muskegon, there's nothing like that. And Manistee we do have that option as Manistee.
So what you're saying is we're special.
You're special.
And I will point out that it's not a conflict with us, but that is Coast Guard Fest weekend, so that will probably actually draw people from Muskegon to Grand Haven. So we might have slightly less than normal beach traffic that weekend, so.
Thank you, Commissioner St. Clair. Commissioner Kilgo.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming back to the best beach in Michigan, here at Pierre Marquette, and trying again. Where will you be, so at night, so the overnights, the boats will be parked on the beach. Where are you launching the boats at?
So maybe just to add some clarification to that, our boats only weigh 200 to 400 pounds. We set them up, because since we have to put the mast up and a lot of other things on the boat to make it ready to sail, we set them up on the beach, and then we use large inflatable wheels that, like an axle, the whole boat just balances on what we call beach wheels, and so we just roll them right into the water. So we're not utilizing any boat launches, we're not trying to sail unmotorized catamarans out the channel or anything like that. It's right there at the beach that we're just launching. We just wheel them into the water and go.
Okay, thank you. That does give me some good clarification. I was just wondering, looking at where the boat parking is, and if vehicles were going to be trying to pull into down the sand.
No, our plan here since there are power lines between where we want to park trailers and the boat parking, it's probably we're going to unload our stuff onto the beach, just balance the mast right on top of the boat on wheels, wheel it over where it's safe and clear of power lines, put it up.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo. Commissioners, anything else to ask or add at this time? Or ask of this gentleman, and then we'll get into anything to add. Anything asked of the applicant? No? All right. Thank you, sir. Now, before we go to vote, is there any final remarks that commissioners wish to make? No? All right. Roll call, please.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keener.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item, amendment to the zoning ordinance for veterinary clinics. Thank you. Have a good one. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes. I move the amendments to veterinary clinics be approved.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Cochin, supported by Commissioner St. Clair. Good evening. Kindly introduce yourself and please report out on this item.
Good evening, Mike Franzek, the planning director. We had a local vet that wants to move into a different building, but staff looked into it and our ordinance appears to be a little outdated in where we allow veterinary clinics, specifically with the form-based code. So we were proposing an amendment for a pretty unintrusive type of business that really doesn't really bother people that are next to them. We did make a caveat for any type of mixed-use buildings where there may be people upstairs, that it does require a special use permit hearing, so people will get noticed. But basically, we want to just allow this use in more areas where it already seems to work properly in the B2 and B4 zones, and the form-based code zones are pretty similar. So we also noticed that there was no definition for vets, so we decided to create a definition for that as well.
Thank you, Director Franzik. Commissioner Cochin.
Yes, I appreciate that. I don't know if my questions are going to be geared towards you, Director Franzik, but I do appreciate you bringing this up because veterinary care is important. Our animals need care in our community as well. One of the things that I was trying to kind of understand a little bit better in regards to the different zoning, you had pictures in the packet of different types of zoning. And one of the things that kind of like just keeps bouncing in my mind is about the outdoor kennel portion. I know that there would probably be some neighbors that would have concerns in regards to that outdoor kennel. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that thought process?
Yeah, so the code is written specifically to not allow the outdoor kennels.
Okay, so
Because those would be a little intrusive. We do have an area where it is allowed, though, in our industrial zones.
Okay.
We don't have any that are located there, but there are properties available. If they ever wanted to have an outdoor kennel or a place you take your pets where you go on vacation, we think that would be an appropriate zone for that.
okay, yeah, I would agree with that as well. I've worked in a couple of veterinary clinics, and I know how loud they can get. So being near neighbors might be an issue. I think that would be the only question I would have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochin. Commissioner St. Clair. Commissioners, anything to ask of Director Franzik? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything to share before we go to vote? No? All right. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keener,
Yes.
Commissioner German.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Concludes our consent agenda. We do not have any unfinished business, but we do have one new business item. It's the second quarter reforecast for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. Good evening, sir.
Kenneth Grant, Finance Director for the City of Muskegon. I don't know if I need to share anything yet, but
Yep.
so this is the second quarter reforecast. At this time, the process is we present the budget to the all the department heads and division heads and let them go over it. And they put their changes and their requests into the system, and then the city manager and myself go over it, and we come up with this process, and we determine what we need to bring to you guys to make changes. So in the detail, we're mostly focusing on the general fund, but we also looked at all other funds, and I hope you had a chance to look at it. I highlighted all the changes in yellow, so if you have any questions, I could hopefully go through some of those, but some of the primary highlights, okay. Some of the primary highlights that I want to go over, I went to revenues. At this time, we looked at I had the treasurer look at revenues for the property taxes, and she determined that we can increase the property tax revenue by 100,000. We determined that we can increase income tax by approximately 275,000. Building permits, we're going to increase by 250,000. And one decrease that we noticed is state revenues from the Constitutional. The state of Michigan has changed their formulas a little bit. So Jonathan and I went over that and determined that we need to lower that by 50,000. Some of the main expenditure changes, police staffing, of course, we gave them a couple raises and things like that, and we changed the formulas to give them more. Fire staffing has went up, and building costs. Pretty much when you generate more revenue from the building permits, we have to pay out the expenses because we have a split with Safe Build. So those are some of the major highlights. We had a lot of minor highlights that I have on this list for the general fund and other boards. The other funds. If you have any questions, let me know if you have any questions. But overall, I wanted to let you know that the revenues went up by, let's say 1.2, and the expenses went up probably about 1.2. Is a difference of $31,000 that the budget went down by 31,000 overall for the general fund. So it's pretty much a wash for the general fund. So our revenues and expenses kind of evened out with the with the forecast. Any questions for me at this time?
Thank you, Director Grant. Commissioners? Anything to ask the Director Grant? Commissioner Kilgore.
Yes, thank you, Director Grant. Your words were, we can increase property taxes by 100,000, or in the second quarter, we did increase.
We're bringing that proposal to you to adopt that change. So we determined that we potentially, based on the revenue projections, it can go up by 100,000.
So when you say go up, can you just explain it to me
Okay, so
a little bit better?
So when we do our original budget, it's a guess. So, and at the time we had it, I don't think we had our tax roll 100% in place. So Sarah went through and she added all the millages and all that. So she determined it with based on the actual millage and the assessments. She could determine that the revenue is going to go up by 100,000.
So, okay, so that makes it a little clearer. So what you're saying is, we're not increasing property taxes. When we looked at the numbers, now we see that we're going to get 100,000 more
Yes.
from, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that makes more sense to me in that one. And then, can you explain building inspection costs? What are we paying for, obviously I know that we have a contract with Safe Build, but what cost goes into that, or is that just what we're paying Safe Build?
So we have a contract with Safe Build. It's pretty much an 80-20 split with revenue. So they keep 80% and we get the 20. So anytime we increase the revenues, we have to increase the expenditures to offset that cost.
Okay.
And just to add a little bit to that, so the building permit fee revenue, that's over a couple different areas. So it's not just like one type of building permit. There's plumbing, mechanical, all that kind of stuff in there. And then in the building inspection fee costs, there's that, and then also there's a trigger in there on rental inspections too. So there's different things that go into those different buckets that get to those numbers.
So just for clarification, when we're saying costs, we're saying if X business pulled some permits, they pay money to Safe
city.
Build, or to the city.
Yep.
And then we're just giving that 80% to Safe Build.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgore. Commissioners, anything else to ask at this time? So it's been established that we're not raising property taxes, that we are just anticipating that revenues are going to go up because taxable value is going up, property values are going up. In recent years, though, our property tax rate, our millage rate, has been decreasing slightly each year. Do you happen to know where that land is expected to land this year?
It's too early to determine, but we should know probably in a month or so if we're going to have to do a rollback.
Okay.
We're talking about the Headley rollback. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we should know in a month or so if we have to do another rollback.
Okay. Yeah, because we're
Right
down.
before we do the budget process, we probably would know we have a better idea where that's at.
Okay. Yeah, between our general operating millage rate, which is capped at 10 mils, and then our sanitation, which is 3 mils, so the combined 13 mils, is now almost 12 mils reduction, 1 mil reduction down to 12. So we're approximately 12 mils now. So property tax rates have been decreasing in recent years. Mr.
So
Manager.
just want to thank Director Grant and his team for working on this. I also wanted to point out one thing on the second page of the memo where I lay out, where Director Grant and I had laid out the fund balance percentages. So we ended the fiscal year this past June 30 with 17.3% fund balance. We're projecting that this coming year, with these changes to the budget, the fund balance will be standing at 16.47%. We will be adding money to the fund balance, however, because you use it on the previous year's revenues. So last year's revenues were 44 million. Even though we're adding money to it, that does decrease the percentage, but that's still ahead of the 13% that the commission has set as the minimum. So,
Thank you, Mr. Manager. All right. So we may proceed. Can I get a motion?
Sure. I move to approve the second quarter reforecast for the 2025-26 fiscal year as presented.
Support.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner St. Clair, supported by Vice Mayor Keener. Any final thoughts to share before we go to vote? Commissioner German.
Yes, I'd just like to thank the Director Grant on excellent work as always and collaborating with the city manager. My question would have been, is property taxes going to be raised? So,
No. Actually, it's like you said, it's going down for most people, but the value of properties are going up, and we're adding more stuff. So that's kind of where we get the
which
increase
is a
in
good
revenue,
thing.
not rate.
Right. I like that.
Thank you, Commissioner German. If there's no,
I was just gonna
Commissioner
say,
St. Clair.
thank you for making this digestible for non-numbers people. That is not a simple thing to do, and I appreciate the work that goes into making it easy to understand.
So much. Have a good
And
night.
that's really important.
It
Because
is. It is. I need to
on
know.
one level, your transparency, you can just, here's all the data, here's all the information, but if it's not shared in a digestible way, something that you can comprehend and access, is it truly transparent then? So it's important to have that understanding as well as the availability of information. So thank you, Commissioner St. Clair. And thank you, Director
Thank
Grant.
you so much.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cochin,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Clair,
Yes.
Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kilgo,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keener,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to any other business. Commissioners, I've got a few items, but open up to the commission. Commissioner German.
Yeah, you can go first. Okay. Well, this is Black History Month, and every year I always pay a tribute to a black historian who paved the way to make it possible for me as a black man in America to have the rights and equality to be able to be treated fairly as this work continues to go on. Excuse me, if I can get Madam Clerk to display these pictures I have the network there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd be remiss if I did not do this. Also in 2023, I drafted a resolution for Black History, City of Muskegon, and along with the commissioners, voting in favor of that. Give me a minute, I allow the Madam Clerk to get that photo up there. bear with me. I do have a sore throat here, so my tribute is on the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson was one of the most influential civil rights leaders, political activist, social justice advocate of the 20th and early 21st centuries. Known for his powerful oratory, grassroots organizing, and commitment to equality, Jackson helped reshape American politics by expanding political participation among marginalized communities and advocating for economic and racial justice. Jackson passed away at the age of 84 after years of declining health caused by progressive neurological conditions, leaving behind a legacy defined by activism, leadership, and hope. Born Jesse Louis Burns on October 8, 1941, in Greenville, South Carolina, Jackson grew up in an era of racial segregation in the American South. Raised by his mother, Helen Burns, he experienced poverty and discrimination firsthand, circumstances that later shaped his long life commitment to social justice. Jackson attended segregated Sterling High School, where he demonstrated early leadership as a class president and participated in civil rights sit-ins. After briefly attending the University of Illinois, he transferred to North Carolina A&T State University, a historical black college, where he earned a sociology degree and continued to develop leadership skills. His academic journey ultimately led him to Chicago Theological Seminary School, where he was ordained as a Baptist minister in 1968. Jackson's national prominence emerged through his work alongside Dr. Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. As a young organizer, he played a visible role in King's Chicago Freedom Movement and later led Operation Breadbasket, an initiative aimed at improving economic opportunities for black communities and pressuring corporations to hire minority workers and invest in underserved neighborhoods. Jackson also was present in Memphis in 1968 during the assassination of Dr. King, an event that profoundly affected him and reinforced his dedication to continuing the struggle for justice and equality. Following King's death, Jackson helped carry forward the Poor People's Campaign, emphasizing economic justice as a central component of civil rights activism. In 1971, he founded Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, which later evolved into the Rainbow Push Coalition through boycott, community programs, educational initiatives such as Push Excel. Jackson promoted economic empowerment, youth development, and social advancement. If you can go to the next slide there, number 2 there. Thank you. His activism extended beyond domestic issues as he supported international human rights efforts, including oppositions to apartheid in South Africa and advocacy for Nelson Mandela's release. He did not limit his activism to the United States. At times, he ventured into hostile lands, serving as a diplomatic negotiator, meeting with presidents such as Cuba's Fidel Castro, Nigeria, Ibrahim's Babangida, and Iraq's Saddam Hussein, to seek the release of prisoners. Perhaps no other American secured the release of so many prisoners trapped in a place they didn't want to be. During the release, Jesse Jackson continued to promote peace. Next slide, please. Jackson's influence expanded dramatically through his presidential campaign in 1984 and 1988. In 1984, he won over 3.3 million votes in the Democratic primaries. And in 1988, he earned nearly 6.9 million votes, becoming the first African-American candidate to mount a viable path towards presidency. His Rainbow Coalition united diverse constituents, African Americans, Latinos, labor groups, young voters, and progressive activists under the vision of inclusive democracy. Jackson's campaign transformed political organizations by emphasizing grassroots mobilization, a strategy later reflected in the campaigns by leaders such as Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders. His famous message, "Keep Hope Alive," became a rallying cry for political participation and social change. Beyond electoral politics, Jackson remained a tireless activist who responded to social crises across the nation. He advocated for justice in communities experiencing racial tension, promoted investment in education and youth development, and championed economic fairness. His inspirational speech frequently includes the affirmation, "I am somebody," encouraging dignity and self-worth among young people and marginalized communities. Jackson's activism also influenced future generations of political leaders, demonstrating that sustained grassroots engagement could shape national conversations about race, opportunities, and democracies. Although Jackson never achieved the presidency, his impact on American politics life was profound. His campaign expanded representation within the Democratic Party and helped normalize the ideals of African American presidential leadership. Many scholars and political leaders have acknowledged that Jackson's effort paved the way for Barack Obama's historic election as the first black president of the United States. Even years later, Jackson continued to advocate for justice, reminding Americans that freedom must be accompanied by equality and economic opportunity. Next slide, please. Reverend Jesse Jackson's life embodied the principles of a servant leader. His family described him as a champion for the oppressed, the voiceless, and overlooked. A description reflects in decades of activism that spanned civil rights, politics, education, international democracy. From marching beside Dr. King to building a multiracial political coalition, Jackson constantly sought to expand democratic participation, human dignity. His legacy remains rooted in the belief that social progress requires courage, collaboration, and unwavering hope for a more just society. Last slide, please. I got a chance to meet Dr. Reverend Jesse Jackson as a young freshman commissioner at Central Michigan University. And his words of encouragement and his wisdom that he instilled in me carries to this day as I continue to advocate for those unfortunately not able to have or be part of a bigger scope of equality. This is why I just felt the need to honor Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I will continue to do that. And I ask that anyone that is actually in a public office seat reflect and do some of these same things as this man had paved the way for many of us. I wouldn't be here. I stand on his shoulders, and it's been an honor to serve here as a commissioner, former vice mayor, as I continue to do the servant work that I was called to do. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Commissioner. You can always count on you, Commissioner German, to help us honor and celebrate Black History Month and
Thank you.
notable figures as well. And it's very fitting that we are recognizing and honoring Mr. Jackson this week. So thank you
Yeah,
for
you're
doing
welcome.
so.
Thank you.
And thank you to Commissioner Kilgo, Commissioner Jackson, Vice Mayor Keener, and Commissioner German for stepping up to serve. And to the voters of Muskegon for electing them, because this commission made Black history and Muskegon history this year by becoming, for the first time ever, a Black majority city commission. So thank you for your diligence and duty to this community and service. Commissioner Kilgo, did I see your hand up?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to, for those who don't know, the city of Muskegon was recently named a 5-star community in the 2025 eCities program, the highest rating awarded by the University of Michigan Dearborn College of Business. This recognition places Muskegon among Michigan's top performing communities based on 5 years of economic data. How Muskegon stands out: commercial property growth was 12.64%. The state average is 6.5%. Total real property growth was 15.8%. The state average is 8.9%. And overall property growth was 14.8%. The state average is 8.6%. We also fared above average in investment in public assets and infrastructure. So I just wanted to share that with the public. Next month, I'm looking forward to Director Elcombe's housing report that we will get here from our Development Services Division here at the city. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kilgo. Anything else to raise in any of the business, commissioners? All right. A few different things to address, one of which I met before the commission meeting with our city manager and public safety director, Tim Kozel, with regard to the recent rash of gun violence in our community, number of shootings that have happened recently. And I'd like the city manager, and it's limited in what can be shared at this time, but I would like the city manager to address this, because despite what some folks out in social media like to have you believe, this is not a normal occurrence. This is not something that happens every single day in the city of Muskegon, and we're not going to tolerate that. Any incident of gun violence is unacceptable, but the rash of incidents that have happened in the past couple days is particularly distressing. And so we're not going to ignore it. We're not going to act like this is acceptable in certain areas of our city or normalize it, or expect our residents to be normalized to it and inured to it. It's a multifaceted problem, but there are some unique elements to what happened in the past couple days that I'd like the city manager to address.
Yes. So the police department is working very hard and actually around the clock to bring those responsible to this for this current situation to justice. We do not believe this is random. There's evidence that the police have to support that. The biggest thing that we want the public to know is, if you know something, say something. There's Silent Observer. You can call Silent Observer. You can make anonymous tips to the police department, or you can, just come and talk to the police department. The more information we have from people in the community, the easier it is for us to bring those responsible to justice.
Yes. Yeah. I think, Mr. Manager, because to support public safety, we need the public as part of that solution and maintaining the safety of our community. And so it requires vigilance, awareness, and a willingness to work with your neighbors to support your own community safety, but also with our law enforcement. If they know something, share it. And there's silentobservermuskegon.com. You can go to find more information as well as submit tips online. The phone number for that is 231-722-7463 to submit anonymous tips. And if they do help lead to arrest and prosecution, there's rewards available for that as well. There are a lot of good people and good organizations in our community that are working on intervention and prevention. Too many for me to list right now, but I do want to recognize that work is happening and is appreciated, and we can seek out how we can further bolster those efforts and support that work and consider where are the gaps and how can we fill those gaps at the same time. Now, I also want to recognize, hot off the presses, our annual report for 2025. Commissioners on the dais right now. It's going to be made available online here shortly. Please review and share this information. There's a lot of good information and insights here on what has been accomplished last year. A lot of progress has been made. Still so much more potential to achieve, and certainly challenges to overcome. But a lot of good information, and communicate that out to our community.
And if I could just add to that, from across the city, departments and divisions are providing information, but the actual product that you see in front of you was done in-house by one of our team members, Cassie, who worked super hard on this. So I want to just make sure that we recognize Cassie for all the work that she did. It was, a lot of eyes on it, but she was the one who really, put it all together to make it digestible in a way so folks can know and understand the information that we have. So thank you.
The driving force, yeah. Cassie did last year's report, which was an excellent report, and she has maintained that level of excellence with this report as well. So certainly, thank you to Cassie and to all the members of our team who contributed to this report, which you can see some public safety trends in here, data, and you'll see that trending lower with serious felony incidents are trending lower in part 1 crimes, which are your serious felonies, have been trending lower. We saw a significant drop last year. Recent events give concern, but we're heading in the right direction generally. All right. I would also like to invite Director Ekholm to give us a little preview. I know that we're going to be having, Director Ekholm is going to be presenting at our March work session about all the different housing programs and partnerships and initiatives that we have underway, as well as the launch of a new housing dashboard and housing fund and all the like. So if you just give us a preview of what's to come, Director Ekholm, that'd be appreciated.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So next month, I'll be presenting to the commission, and we'll be inviting a lot of our infill housing partners, including our LIHTC partners, market rate partners, infill housing, residential, single family, and duplex partners, to kind of come and attend and sort of hear how we're doing so far. The program will be split into sort of 4 parts. The first one is sort of what we've done so far, and what are the outcomes relative to the housing needs assessment that we completed for 2023 to 2027. We'll be unveiling a project that our team has been working on for months, the better part of a year now, which will be live shortly on the website, which is a housing dashboard where citizens can click onto a GIS supported page on our website, which should give close to live information on how many housing units have been created, where they've been created, how many market rate versus affordable have been created. And there's a whole project team that I'll be referencing and thanking in the presentation, because a lot of our division staff have been working on it and really have done a fantastic job. From there, we'll talk about what the next step in housing should be, and we'll go through our results of our housing study, our housing survey that we did. So we had teams of 2 go out throughout a big chunk of the summer and early fall, and we got a pretty substantial number of households from our new housing, infill housing, to respond. And we've got all the results for that to kind of show you, here's how we've performed relative to, you know, who's buying our houses, who's occupying, who are these new residents to the city, are they existing residents? We'll go through a lot of that information, and then we'll make some policy recommendations as to the next steps for the infill housing program, what we'd like to see happen next, now that we're getting down to the last several dozen of the city-controlled infill lots. And from there, the fourth portion of the presentation will feature the future of the housing fund that we created in the budget, which we appreciate, and what we would recommend the city start to take a look at as far as getting directly involved in housing intervention. So trying to take a more direct stance to combat unhoused issues in the city and provide supports for those folks. And we've got some recommendations on policy directions we can take for that, potentially leveraging that new housing fund and the brownfield TIF that we'll be recovering over the next several years for all of the infill housing we've done to date. So it'll be a little in depth, but it should be very digestible for anybody watching and the commissioners. And then we'll be obviously available to answer any questions after that presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Director Holm.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work of you and your team, and look forward to that presentation and conversation come March. Do wish to recognize a former city commissioner who unfortunately passed away earlier this month. Byron Arthur Turnquist passed away at age 88 on February 4th. He's going to be having, or his family's going to be having a celebration, a memorial service celebrating his life that will be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday, March 7th. So 2 Saturdays from now, and that's going to be at Forest Park Covenant Church in Northern Shores. Visitation will begin at 10 a.m. The service will also be live streamed on the Forest Park Covenant Church YouTube channel. In lieu of flowers, memorial contributions to Trinity Hospice Grand Haven are appreciated. Commissioner Turnquist was elected in 2011 and served 8 years on the City Commission. He was a Ward 4 City Commissioner representing the far west side of our city. I had the pleasure of serving alongside him for 6 of his 8 years. I think he was elected the same cycle as you, Commissioner German. Yep. A good man, not a transplant to Muskegon, originally born in Detroit, but he was a good man who cared about this community and was deeply invested in the success of this community. And so I do want to recognize his passing, extend condolences to his family and friends and our neighbors, and say thanks. Say thanks for his dedication to our community.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes,
I'd like to say something also. Yeah, I'd like to extend my condolences also to Commissioner Gilchrist. So no, I'm a Turnquist. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the mayor. City Turnquist. As the mayor indicated, I got a chance to serve with him. We got elected during the same time, and real down-to-earth guy. As you stated, he's definitely cared about the community. Was active in the community, and just want to, wish his family, the best, and pray for them during their time of mourning, that God continue to heal them. So,
thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that concludes any other business. We're going to move on to general public comment. First, we're going to go to folks in the audience here, and I've got a few different forms to speak. Then we'll go to the phones. I'm going to share the phone number right now, and it's also going to be scrolling on the screen when we get close to phone and comments. But just so folks listening in or watching have that at the ready, the phone number is 231-724-6721. Please do not call just yet. Just have that at the ready. We're going to start with in-person. And I have Andrea Gagnon joining us from the Nelson neighborhood. Good evening and welcome. You have up to 3 minutes to read your remarks.
Good evening. I did prepare something for the council. May I approach to pass it out?
You hand that to our city clerk down there.
I am here today on behalf of the unhoused community in Muskegon. Last meeting I was here and I briefly explained to everybody about the overnight warming shelter that we did at Covenant Community Church. This week I wanted to talk with everybody about why that was important and why an emergency shelter is important in Muskegon County. From my encounters with many unhoused people in Muskegon, I've learned that people are banned, or as it's called, trespass from the Muskegon Rescue Mission. What that means is when they're banned, they are no longer welcome for 1 year. So why this is important to have some form of emergency shelter system in place in Muskegon County is because these people that are homeless have no place to go in extreme weathers. What I put in front of you is a plan that I created called the Emergency Weather Rapid Response Program. This is not something I'm actually proposing, but it's meant to be a conversation starter for future discussion in the future for an emergency shelter in Muskegon County. What this plan proposes is that it's a citywide effort to create emergency shelter in conjunction with community organizations such as the Giving Tree. Other cities in Michigan, such as Lansing, other cities around the United States, has things called Code Blue. What Code Blue is an emergency activation shelter that goes into place when weather gets below 32 degrees, sometimes 15, or wind chill is deemed as dangerous or not safe to be outside. We do not have that in Muskegon County. We do not have a Code Blue or anything of those sorts. We also don't have an emergency shelter that can be put in place that is provided by the City of Muskegon Heights, or Muskegon County. So what this plan is that I propose is something that is actually very doable. What we did at the Covenant Community Church, in 5 hours, we opened the doors after discussing with the pastor to open an emergency shelter overnight. We did that in literally 5 hours. I believe with all the smart people we have in Muskegon County, we can totally come up with a plan to do an emergency shelter. We live in Michigan. The cold weather is not going anywhere. I believe hopefully this winter it's almost done, but I'd like to start these discussions to move forward for next winter. Hopefully something that we can get in place. So I ask Muskegon, City of Muskegon, Muskegon Heights, this County of Muskegon to start talking about this important topic of creating an emergency shelter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us this evening. Next up, we have Pat Jones joining us from the Jackson Hill neighborhood. Good evening and welcome. You have up to 3 minutes to provide your remarks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, I am Patricia Jones. I am technically here from the Muskegon Shelter this evening. I am here to discuss, I started last year on this journey to discuss KMG. Prestige, who build buildings, who own buildings, who buy buildings here in the city of Muskegon, but no one holds them accountable. They built the 1020, the Berkshire, they got a long list of them. But these people prey on the low income, the elderly. They're a group, I believe, I've researched, of Pakistanis who are buying up Muskegon County, preferably here in the city of Muskegon, because you have land, and I don't know, we always need monies, and they're coming in, doling out the big dollars, and right then it looks good, but down the road, what they do with these buildings is horrific. I ask, it doesn't have to be in your zone to go in, other commissioners to go in, because they're receiving MSHDA dollars, tax incentives, and to put these buildings together. And that comes off the back of poor people. That comes off the back of retired people who can't afford a $100 increase in rent every month. I've come and I begged last year. I was threatened with, if I ever came back, I would be thrown out before the commission. And like I told them, you're supposed to be my buffer between me and them, because I don't have a leg to stand on if you don't stand with me. These people are dishonest. They don't care about people. They don't care about if you're hungry, you're poor. All they care about is green money, and we keep letting them. They're building the new apartments. We keep letting them in and build more and more and more, but I notice it's all, most of them are in one zone of the city. That's going to be a problem come down the road when these poor people, when these retired people, when below socioeconomic stands no longer can afford the rents. Then what? Do they just toss them out into the street? That's what they're doing. I had an incident where I refused to pay anymore because I got tired. I couldn't pay anymore. $100 a month increase was over my head and I couldn't pay anymore. I contacted everybody I was supposed to contact, put all those things into place, but nothing saved me. They did just what they said they were going to do.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Appreciate you joining us this evening.
I don't just want to be appreciated. I need some help.
Next, I invite Bo joining us from the Marshfield neighborhood. You have up to 3 minutes to write your remarks.
Didn't even have time to type up my speech here. So I wasn't actually sure if I was going to talk tonight, but I wanted to come in here and see how it was going to go. And thank you, Ken, for mentioning what happened yesterday. So I am the neighbor that reported yesterday's incident. I know that there were several people who called in, but I got eyes on what happened. And, I was a little disappointed when I got interviewed by the news company yesterday. This happens all the time. When people explain themselves, they post 20 seconds of what 3 minutes you said. But what I wanted to make clear to News 13 was that she did point out that it was an abnormal thing, very first part of the clip, and I made that very clear to her. I've lived in the city for 5 years roughly, and I moved here because I thought it was a better community, and I absolutely believe it's a better community. And I think right now that my neighbors, all of you guys up here today, and any tourists or anyone coming to this city needs to know that it is a safe city, and I believe that it is. I wouldn't have moved here if it wasn't. I'm a practicing social worker, so I actually know a lot about these kinds of things. And I believe I'm also a man of privilege. So one of the first things that Lauren asked me yesterday when she interviewed me was, why was I coming forward? And I'm going to tell you, when I saw them come up to my front door, I knew exactly what they were there for. And I said, oh, you must be here for the shooting. She said, yep. And I kind of introduced myself, and she asked me what I knew, so I kind of explained what I had kind of seen, and I invited them in for safety reasons. And just kind of explained my side of the story, and I made it very clear how I felt about the city and that this was very abnormal. And I also explained that one of the things I think residents need to know in my particular neighborhood, every once in a while we all probably hear 1 or 2 gunshots. That's kind of normal. What it usually is, according to my neighbors, and I'm not agreeing this or condoning it, is they go up and they pop off their new pistols in the air and stuff like that, and that's generally what we're hearing. But what I heard yesterday was abnormal. I also think that we have a lot of things going on nationally right now in our current political climate. There's things going on in this city right now that are very different in that I've seen. And I think that we need to be having bigger conversations right now about it, and I'm not hearing them. As someone who has been an organizer in Kent County for a long time, I consider myself to be a pretty strong advocate for folks. I just felt the need to get up here, and as a white man and as someone who's privileged, that's why I need to say these things, because a lot of people speak on a community that is populations, black and brown persons and things like that, and the connotation it says about our community. So I just basically said some of the things that I thought would make it a better space for us, and my apologies, I don't really have time to finish up here. I was trying to type it out so that I wouldn't get so off track. That's what I just wanted people to know, that I feel it's a safe place, and that I believe that there's something going on right now in our community much bigger than us that we need to address, and we need our authorities to start helping us, because I actually believe that to an extent they're the part of the problem.
Thank you, Bo. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Next, we have Cam Lipko joining us from Laketon Township. Welcome. You have 3 minutes to write your remarks.
Good evening, City Commission. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Cam. I'm a director on the board of directors for JCI Greater Muskegon. I'm also the co-chair of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Thank you so much for your continued support through the decades. We are celebrating our 90th anniversary this year, so thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to do things without our partnership with the city. We also are happy to announce our St. Patrick's Day Parade will be going on Saturday, March 14th at 11 a.m. And it will be on Western Avenue like it normally is from 6th Street to 1st Street. Why am I here? I normally don't come to City Commission meetings to announce the parade. I'm here because we had to have an emergency meeting this past Sunday because there was a chance that we would not be able to hold the parade. And the reason for that was because our permit cost increased by 600%. So in the past, we would spend usually around $300 to $400 on our permit. The city DPW would drop off barricades and the JCs would go out and set them up the morning of. We would have the event and then we would take them down. What this would do is this would take out the city labor costs, therefore reducing our permit cost to that $300-400 mark. This year, the city has a requirement to use the new barricades that are much better at keeping vehicles out of the closure area. They're much better at stopping them. Previous barricades would not be able to do that. We do applaud the city for increasing the safety at events, and we absolutely would want nothing but safety, as much safety as we possibly could have at our parade. What we had an issue with was that the cost was so high, it went up, the initial estimate was $2,100, and it was not communicated to us until about a month ago. In November, an email went out saying that permit costs were going to be increasing due to the barricades. However, it did not say it was going to be that much. So we normally run this event at a loss. We use it as a food drive. We don't charge entry fees for people to participate. We usually take about a $300 loss. Our requests from the city at this time would be a discount for the permit due to the short term of knowing that it was increasing by 700%. We found that out a month ago. Also, in the future, training opportunities for people like the JCs to be able to set up the barricades so we could eliminate city labor costs and get our permit costs back down if that's a possibility. And lastly, more specific notification and of annual permit increases for events that are held annually. Since they are recurring, we can get a general estimate of how much it's going to be. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lithgow. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Next up, we have Rich Howderman joining us from Fruitland Township. Good evening, sir. You have 3 minutes to provide your remarks.
Hi, Rich Howdeman, Consumers Energy. Just giving you a quick update of some things that are going on as of late. We've really had a great time getting to know the Bernhardts over at the stage on the corner. We've been doing a lot with them. It's been a great way to engage neighborhoods. We were just over there a couple weeks ago when they ran sound check, and we did gave away about 80 air purifiers, and we've been signing up residents for home energy audits, and it's been a really good synergy. So we're trying to get more engaged there. So hopefully we'll do that. We were excited actually on that same day to kick off. We underwrit From Here to There exhibit at the Muskegon Museum of History and Science. That was really exciting to see that. If you haven't, please stop over there. They've done a really good job with that exhibit. I just want to jump into real quick. On March 4th, you're going to hear about us submitting our integrated resource plan to the state. The Michigan Public Service Commission basically outlines how we're going to generate power for the next 20 years. And we're really excited about it. We're always going to try to get greener and cleaner. Matter of fact, we just opened up our Muskegon Solar Energy Center in December out by the Muskegon Muskegon Resource Recovery Center. Sorry, I'm an older person in the area. But we're excited about that. That's part of our plan. But we are going to reduce emissions by 76% over the next 20 years, and we're going to be rolling this out across the state. The Michigan Public Service Commission has about a year to review the plan, so we don't expect that they'll accept or reject it or maybe approve with some recommended changes until probably spring of 2027. But also, you've been hearing a lot about data centers. Data centers are a big deal, and we need them. Matter of fact, 92% of all the data centers in the pipeline are already spoken for. We don't make them, we don't build them. We do have to, but energy companies like us do support them. Michigan's a little behind. It's not good or bad, it's just the way it is. Michigan hasn't been too involved with data centers as of late. Up until now, Virginia, Texas, Indiana have been leading the way in a lot of those build outs. But they're looking at us. Kent County is, Microsoft's looking at Kent County. DTE is cited too in the east side of the state that aren't online yet, but are on the way. We have just found it really important to make sure that A, our customers are held harmless, and B, they'll be held harmless in the future. And we've been working very closely with the Michigan Public Service Commission on this. They're going to have to be able to reserve their power for 15 years and pay for it, even if they don't end up using it. They're going to have to account for the power that they're going to need, like the capital investment, because they take sizable amounts of power. So I'm about wrapping up here, but I just want to let you know that we're here to serve them if they come.
Thank you, Mr. Howdeman. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Next up, we have Deborah Menken joining us from Fruitland Township. Good evening. You have 3 minutes to provide your remarks.
Hey, I'm Deborah Menken, and I want to say thank you for allowing me to come up and speak. I'm here for the unhoused people in Muskegon, and the reason I am here is I was part of the Forest Park Ministry taking these people in during the cold. As I was there, I got to know quite a few of them, and it's tragic to find out why they're unhoused. And a lot of it is a tragedy situation, like say a fire, a sickness where you can't pay your bills. A lot of them had reasons, and a lot of them were family issues. Family kicked them out, had nowhere to go. And I, myself, have experienced homelessness, and I just want to say it's not a fun place to be, especially when you have no job, no income, no way to travel, no clothing, and it's a tragic situation that somehow we can't be there for these people. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Menken. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Next up, we have Kara Witham, also from Fruitland Township. Welcome.
Thank you. I care about Muskegon. I taught for Muskegon Public for 30 years. I came and spoke here 2 weeks ago about the unhoused, and 9 of them wanted me to tell you their stories of just the last 2 weeks of their lives. All 9 of these people were at the mission at one point. 5 were kicked out. 1 will not return. 3 are still at the mission but are leaving as soon as possible because they say it's a negative environment for them. They gave permission to give their names. Matt, I met him the day after I met with you 2 weeks ago. I saw him on Muskegon Informed, and he was pleading with people to help him figure out where he was going to go that night when he got out of work because he had been kicked out of his house. He went to the mission. He said he would not go back again because his backpack was stolen, and he said they didn't do anything about it. He was trying to turn his life around. He had been in jail in the past and said the mission was worse than jail. He's been clean for 5 months. He was working a part-time job, wanting another one to keep him busy and out of trouble. A few of us from the giving table met with him, set him up with clothes, blankets, and other things he needed. He said he'd never felt so much love in his life and felt better than he had in 8 years. The next day at work, he was told he seemed like a new man. They gave him 20 more hours of work per week, so now he doesn't need a second part-time job. And he's found a room to rent. All of this transpired in 4 days. Ernest and Akasha were put on a bus in Saginaw. I think it was by another shelter. They sent them here because they thought Muskegon would be a good place that we'd have a room for them. They're a trans couple. When they went to the Muskegon Rescue Mission, they both had to go in the men's shelter. And when Akasha was harassed by people there, When she was hit, she responded back and hit. Her husband did not. He yelled, and they were kicked out. And the giving table helped them get a hotel, and then a bus back to Saginaw. Let me see who else I'll tell you about. Cage and Bernard were here. They were kicked out of the mission. They were accused of smoking cigarettes. They said that they weren't. We brought them to Mel Trotter in Grand Rapids. And in conclusion, all of these people said the volunteers from the giving table and our church made them feel very loved, made them feel like real people. We gave them hope. I understand that there are always multiple sides to a story, but these represent stories of real people and show that the Muskegon Rescue Mission isn't able to meet the needs of all the unhoused in Muskegon, and they shouldn't be expected to do so. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Thank you, Ms. Witham. Appreciate you joining us this evening. That's all of the comment forms that I've received. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to give comment who has not given comment already for general public comment? Seeing no takers in the audience? No. Okay. We're going to go to the phones. The phone number is 231-724-6721. When you're calling, please turn down any audio in the background. State your name. And if you're a City of Muskegon resident, which neighborhood you may be calling from. And if you're not a city resident, which other township, village, or city you're calling from. Good evening. You're with the City of Muskegon City Commission.
Hi there, this is Angel Kuhn calling. I reside in the county and have a business downtown for those who don't know. I wanted to call in to voice my perspective on what seems to be like a little bit of an uptick in the violence that we have, but is certainly not new to Muskegon. Growing up in Holton, I always loved coming to the downtown area, but to be frank, it was really rough back then. And I probably had no business being down there at my teenage years, but I just genuinely always loved meeting people. And I was exposed to a different kind of culture than what I was used to growing up. And so I'd always try to bring my friends together and see that we're all not so different. But over the course of that, I started just seeing how different schools seem to be less funded and how Muskegon as a whole seemed to not flourish like some of our other neighboring coastal towns did. Now we have all this development coming in and we would like to see our community rise all together, but we still have a lot of trauma here in this city. And there's not near enough resources available for our community members. And then you have places like me where I'm really trying, here at Earthwise, really trying to not only build people professionally, but personally too, spiritually too. And yeah, I wanted to share with what I was dealing with today, and that was that I was downtown at the courthouse facing a noise ordinance complaint because I had rented my venue out for a private birthday party back in December on a Saturday and around 12:31 a.m. There was a noise complaint, and because they said they had given me a warning about a month prior, they issued me a citation. And so now I'm currently facing that as a business owner that is still trying to grow and thrive and support the community's needs. And so I'm asking you on the City Commission to see that the issues that we have with violence here are not just one-dimensional. We need to have an environment in the downtown area that gives our community members things to do, or they're going to find things to do. But it's not just that. We also need to provide more mental health resources. And I remember you guys, well, I was there when you guys passed the ordinance about the being more inclusive. Being inclusive means remembering that not everybody operates on a 9-to-5 schedule and that not everybody is the same. We need to have more things for our younger populations to do that's going to keep them out of trouble while reinforcing the need for mental health services in our community. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kuhn. Appreciate you phoning in. We'll give it a few more moments for any additional callers. Didn't hear anyone trying to phone in. All right, does not sound like we have any more takers for phone-in comments. Commissioners, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Commissioner St. Clair, supported by Commissioner Kilgo, to adjourn. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you. Take care and be well.